Okay, g'day there. I'm Musgrave-Evans, and today I'm back in Outback Australia. Got an evening effect. It's about to take place at the moment. Just behind me up here, we've got the sun about to set, but what's happening, there's a cloud bank. And that cloud bank is currently casting this shadow. It's going to drop. The next minute there's going to be spearing light everywhere. So, as usual, we're painting on clear primed Belgian linen, oil paints, palette knife. Now I've got a great subject this time. We've got North Tent Hill, which is a fantastic spot, fantastic location. Alright, now as usual what I've done is just blocked in all the darks, get the basic composition, get the shape of the hill that I want, and now it's time to start colouring in. Alright, biggest differences, what have we got? Okay, that sun's about to spear through, I can see it. Now what I'll do is I'll get all those shadow foreground colours in, because soon the light will be across all that and it'll be different. So let's start getting that in. Right, okay. Bit of burnt sienna, bit of cad orange, magenta and white. Just trying to get that nice earthy colour that we can see in here. Let's have a look. I think I'll just go a little bit more magenta and blue than that, just knock it back a bit. Don't want it to be too strong. It is a shadow, remember, this will be the shadow. Now, palette knives, as you can see, are fantastic for putting it in and working it out later. Now currently I've just got that in like so, very quick. Now I'll go for those shadow salt bushes. So I'm going for viridian green, a bit of cobalt blue and white, a bit of burnt sienna, a bit more blue and burnt sienna, a bit more green. Remember, this is all the shadow tones of the salt bushes, etc. Alright, let's have a look what we got. Yeah. Just very lightly dragging them in. Now I'm not going to put them all exactly where they are. I don't want these ones in the foreground, for example. I'd rather a better lead in. So you just decide which ones you want and build a composition. Okay. Bit of burnt sienna, yellow ochre, viridian green, bit more burnt sienna. I'm just trying to paint now some of the distant foliage a little bit further away. Darker than that, so we'll go darker. Okay, get that in. That's all going to be in shadow for now. Okay, now I might just bend this forward a bit because I've got a feeling it's going to reflect the sky once the paint gets wet. Hang on. Just bung that in there. Once the surface gets wet, I think it might reflect the sky, so I'll bend it down a bit. Try and eliminate that. Now, just doing a little bit of dragging. Alright, let's get that middle ground hill in the shadow tone, that is. Tent Hill, beautiful hill. It's all in shadow at the moment, so I just bung it in like that. Working on getting that draftsmanship correct, even though I'm using a big clumsy palette knife. Which is not always the easiest thing, but can be a bit of fun. Alright, let's get this hill in the distance blocked in too. Just getting the shadow tone of it basically worked out. I'm already starting to see a little bit of sunlight in the distance over here, which is great. It'll all be lit up in a minute, you watch. on that. Get all those shadow tones in. Throw this one in the bin over here. Here comes the sun. Here she comes. Here she comes. Right, let's get that sky in then. We haven't got time to muck around with these fleeting moments. You've just got to get it in there. Bit of burnt sienna and white. There's a lot of crap in that. There's a lot of skin and stuff. Okay. She's a bit wobbly here. What do we got going on here? Okay, bear with me. Right, a bit more stable, okay. Well, there's the light. She's all come now, isn't she? So what I'll do is I'll just put a bit of this colour in. Just have to move that in position because what's going on there, reflecting too much sky. Okay. That's yellow ochre and white. The angle that was on before I think was reflecting a bit too much sky into the painting, so you can't see what's happening. So try to get the glare off it. Oh, she's all wet up now, so just going to put some yellow ochre in here. So remember, I've got yellow ochre and burnt sienna. Now I'm going to put other colours. At the moment I'm just getting a general feeling for what I want. Okay, blue with the yellow ochre, blue and white, plenty of paint, slap her on. Yellow ochre again, blue, white, mix up a nice brew. Okay, now, I'm not in the way am I? I am a little bit, but oh well, let's get that on. Apply that paint, bringing that blue into that burnt sienna and yellow ochre mix so you get a nice half mix of the two. Now I'll do some blending soon. First I'll just get all the colours in. Okay. Blue, white and magenta to go a bit darker and richer at the top. A little bit more magenta. Get that in first. Now they're incredibly different, the two tones here, but let's not worry about that, I can blend that. Let's just get it in first. These palette knives are good for this sort of effect. Bit of paper towel. Going to take a bit of that paint off and blend. Do some mixing here. A bit more of this colour. Beautiful blue in the middle. I'm doing a lot of blending and mixing because I want half mixes of colours. I don't just want a straight colour. I don't just want a straight colour in the sky. I want a nice blend of warms and cools and whatever else. So let's just get it in. Bit of yellow ochre here. We've lost a bit of the yellow ochre colour, so we'll go for that. Yellow ochre and white. Intermix that. Mind the way here. This is the problem. Hang on. Why don't I just move this painting a little bit this way? There. So, let's have a look at that. Right. That way I can see what I'm doing and you can see what I'm doing at the same time, which is probably better. So I'm just doing a bit of blending now. Blending all those tones together. Get a bit of that skin out of the paint there. There's a little bit of skin in that. We'll take that out. Oops, hang on. A bit of that shadow colour, I'll just take that out of there. Now, get a bit of that just to clean the edge up. Okay. Right, now we'll just leave that for a minute. Okay, now what I'll do is, it's a completely different subject than it was before. When we started, as you know, I'm just taking a bit of that paint off. When we started, as you know, it was all in shadow, and now it's a completely different subject. What I'm doing is, I've got to change a few tones here because it's actually tricked me a little bit, and I'll just get the shape of this hill by scraping the paint back. Now, what I need to do is, drop that in the bin. Just going to change the tones of those shadows on the hills and lighten them a little bit because they're actually a bit lighter now, I can see, than what I was doing before. So I've got a bit of blue, magenta, Floridian green, because the shadows on these hills over here are much lighter in tone than what I've been painting. They're actually quite nice too, so we'll just bung a few in. Where are we? Just get a bit of that. Okay, now what I've got to do is start introducing the light. I've got all the shadows in, but I need to introduce the light source. Clean that up a little bit here. Just bring that down, that hill down. It was just a little bit high, so I'm just bringing the sky into it a little bit because it was a little bit high. The draftsmanship was a tad off. So with the palette knife I've just brought the whole thing down a bit. Now I just smear it a bit to clean it all up. Just clean the knife each time and rub like so. That gives a great softening effect. Now that sky is getting beautiful and soft now. Nice upward flex, downward marks, just all around to give randomness. Okay, now, I really do want that sun to get a bit lower because what we've got at the moment is, as you can see, the whole thing's in full light. And what I really want is light and shadow. And we started off before with only shadow, and now we've pretty much got only light. As the evening goes on, we're going to get a few more of those shadows. I can see a couple kicking in. Hang on, what have we got here? That hill is obviously going to glow, which of course is exactly what we want. Just going to mix up that blue again while we're here. Before I add the light tones of these of this hill, I'm just going to clean the sky a little bit. I've been messing around with the sky quite a bit, but sometimes you've got to just get it right. Okay. Now you've always got to use clean instruments. When you're working with warm and cool colours, which we're doing here, you've got to keep everything very, very clean indeed, otherwise you get all sorts of mucky patches. Okay, so that's a bit better. Get rid of that burnt sienna and just clean up this edge down here. Now some of the sky I've actually put tones that are not quite there yet, but I'm anticipating that they'll be there in about another 20 minutes. Okay, now to start with, why don't we get a bit of light on that hill. So I'll just move some of these to make room into one side. Now that hill is a nice colour, so we'll go with cad orange, white, maybe a tad of magenta just to drop it back a little bit, a bit more white. I actually introduce a bit of yellow ochre. There's a bit of a golden colour. Actually, in the camera, it looks like there's a lot of golden colour. The camera's making it more golden than it actually is. Let's just see what we've got here. Very lightly touching. Purposefully leaving gaps. So what's going on here is you've got the shadow tone coming through, which looks like the trees on the hill. We're leaving bits as you go. Just very lightly dragging in like so. Okay, now as we go further back, I'll throw a bit of magenta into the works here, a bit of white. Okay, now we've got this main hill here, but as it goes further back around, there's a bit more magenta, etc. in there, so let's just bung some of that in. Again, very lightly touching, letting the undertones show through. Go to a slightly smaller knife here. Just trying to get the effect of light and shadow on the hills. It's coming along now. Beautiful rich yellow. Mix up a nice light tone of green with viridian green and white, a very light tone. Mix them with some straight yellow ochre. Whoops, more yellow ochre. Half mix it, maybe throw a bit of orange in. Now, what have we got here? Just very lightly touch. Very lightly touch indeed. That's a nice colour for the foliage. I'm just going to get some of this paint off me. Put this one in the bin. What I'm going to do now is start introducing some of the orange earth which is lit up. Let's move all that to one side, clean the knife. Always keep everything clean. Put that one in the bin. Okay, so I've run out of some oranges, so I'll just bung a bit more cat orange in. Right. What have we got here? Only a bit of white with that orange. Mainly orange though, half mix. They're very rich. Very rich little marks sticking up here and there. Alright, let me just have a look at that. Just some magenta. Mix it with that orange to create a middle tone keyed down version of the ground, the earthy ground, where the sun can't quite, as in here, where are we? The sun's not quite capturing, it's only just skimming along, so you've got half light. And when it hits things like the edge of the saltbush it gets stronger, but I'm trying to now capture that kind of mid-tone where it's almost light but not quite. So, it's a lighter, it's kind of slightly darker tone and weaker chroma. Adding some of those saltbush colours in where the light's hitting them, just very lightly touching. Okay. Now what I want to grab is some of the proper shadow tones in the foreground. What have we got here? I've got to run out of magenta. I didn't put enough on, so let's get into it. Let's put some on. Just get the lid off. I like to buy my paint in tins. Can't probably see that. Art Spectrum, good stuff. You can buy them in tins like this, which is fantastic if you want to throw a lot of paint around. Right, shadows. Bit of that lovely magenta. Mix it with a bit of pale blue and a pale green. Get a lovely pale colour. Have a look what we got. I'm going to knock a few shadows in. blue with that mix. I'll just stand back and have a look at that one. Stick some nice blue shadows to give the illusion of the illusion of sunlight and shadow, of course. That gives you that great complementary colour where you've got warm and cool. Now I'm just mixing up a cat orange in yellow and white. I just want to try and create a bit more richness here with the lights hitting in places. Oops, that palette knife maybe a tad big for the job. I'll just go a little bit smaller. Let's go white, orange, yellow, half mix. A bit more orange than that. A bit more orange. Stand back and have a look. Okay, now some of those shadows on Tent Hill themselves, just on the back edge here, are starting to kick in, so they're a nice blue tone. I'll just bung them in. There's a few trees there too. So that's a nice pale blue with greens and magentas. Just throw a few up and down here where the sunlight's kicking across. That tree colour on the hill itself needs to go a little bit lighter in tone. It's really hard to see because you're getting a bleached out golden light. The light is so strong now that what you're seeing is absolute golden. It's much more subtle than that. Unfortunately, it makes it a bit hard for me to see what I'm doing, but what's going on is these trees are a bit lighter in tone. So I just put them on. Very lightly touch. Stand back and have a look. A bit more of that blue colour, it's a nice little colour. I can see blue's kicking in. This is a classic time of day. It all starts to come together at this time of day. Just have to get that beautiful light. Bit of blue in there. Take a bit of paint off like so. Clarify the edge. Now I've got to have a very clean knife here to do what I'm about to do. I'm just going to thin the paint ever so slightly. But don't want to get too carried away. Don't want to smudge it actually. Maybe just draw the hill, the draftsmanship of the hill a bit better like that. There's a highlight there. What I'm actually going to do is take the tape off now. And then I can finish the picture. When I take the tape off, I'll be able to compose it better. That's just to give me an idea of what I wanted. Take all that off. over here for the bid. Now, which I can do, which I like to do quite often, as you know, I like to just spread the painting a bit now, just feel it and just when I feel those shadows. Okay. Quite often like to drop the bottom of the painting out of the picture, so that's what I've done here. Some nice light hitting little pieces here and there, creating beautiful accents. Like so. Alright, so what have we got here? Alright, well, that is about it. Like, I've got the big impression. I've pretty much got what looks like out there. I just wanted the feeling of light. I've got the great feeling of afternoon light now casting all the hills. It looks like you're not exactly seeing what I'm seeing through that camera, so let's take the camera off and have a closer look. No worries, thank you. Alright, so there's Tent Hill itself, and there's the afternoon hills off in the distance. Now here's the painting. Let's come in and have a look. Okay. Now it all started off in foreground shadow, as you saw, and then the light came underneath the clouds, speared through, and bang, off it went. So I first put all the subdued colours in, and once I'd done that, now I've added all these rich vibrant ones on top where the light's hitting. And you can see those beautiful distant hills, those magentas and pale blues as it recedes off into the distance. A nice smear technique here to give the illusion of distant saltbush. You stand back and you can see the warm and cool contrasting colours all over the place. You saw how much colour I put in the sky, those burnt siennas and yellow ochres and whatnot, but as you can see now, it's all come together to create an evening effect. North Tent Hill, sundown. No worries, thank you.